We're always told to hustle, to grind, to literally force our way to success. But what if the harder we push, the further away we get from our goals? What if the real secret to getting good at something isn't about trying harder, but about letting go? It's a huge paradox, and it's puzzled people for centuries. Today, we're going to try and unravel it together.
I mean, this quote from the ancient Taoist sage Lao Tzu, it's literally over 2,500 years old, but it sounds like he's talking about right now. Think about it. Remember learning to ride a bike? The more you tensed up, the more you tried to force your balance, the more you wobbled all over the place, right? It's only when you finally relax and just trust the process that you find that stability. And that simple idea, well, that's the key to this whole thing.
And this lands us right in the middle of the central paradox we're digging into. It's a real head-scratcher, isn't it? I mean, how on earth do you become a better musician by putting down your instrument? Or how do you build a stronger business by actually stepping back from the day-to-day grind? These are the exact questions we're going to answer.
So here's the game plan. We'll start by looking at our illusion of control. Then we'll introduce this core idea of effortless action. We'll explore why our best efforts so often blow up in our faces, lay out a practical way to change our approach, and finally, we'll talk about becoming what we're calling the silent builder.
Okay, so let's start at the very source of the struggle, this deep-seated need we all have to control every single outcome. We're about to see how this powerful illusion is really the root cause of so much of our wasted effort and frustration.
So, the ancient Taoists believed that behind all the chaos of the universe, there's this hidden order, this natural spontaneous flow they called the Tao. Think of it like a river's current. It's powerful, it's there, you can work with it, but you can never really pin it down or define it. But our human instinct, it's to try and build a dam to stop that river with labels, categories, and a whole bunch of rigid rules.
But here's the trap. In our attempt to make life neat and tidy and understandable, we actually end up creating a fake version of it. And these man-made rules, they don't expand our vision. They actually build walls around it. They limit what we're even able to see.
And this quote just illustrates the point perfectly. The moment you define a limited set of colors, you kind of stop seeing the infinite spectrum of shades that exist in between them. Our rules for control, they actually become our limitations.
So if trying to force things all the time is the problem, then what's the solution? Well, the Taoists had a really powerful answer, a concept they called Wu Wei.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Wu Wei, or non-doing, sounds like a great excuse for being lazy, right? Especially in our culture that's obsessed with hustle. But it's actually the exact opposite. It's all about smart, effective action that works with the natural current of life, not against it. Picture a sailor. The foolish one tries to push the boat forward with his own brute strength, fighting the wind, fighting the water. Of course, he just wears himself out and gets absolutely nowhere. But the wise sailor, the one practicing Wu Wei, they don't push. They just raise a sail, and they use the power of the wind to glide forward with almost no effort at all. That is effortless action.
Okay, so the theory is cool and all, but where do we actually see this trying too hard thing causing real problems in our lives? Let's look at 3 classic examples where it all goes wrong. We're going to examine 3 super common traps: that desire to save the world with our own ideas, the frantic chase for happiness, and that exhausting effort to become someone or not. So first up, that well-intentioned desire to fix the world. As the philosopher Alan Watts once pointed out, sometimes the people with the strongest urge to enforce their own ideas of good and evil on everyone else, well, they end up being the biggest troublemakers of all.
This quote actually comes from a story where Confucius is warning this well-meaning student not to go fix a neighboring kingdom. See, rushing in from this place of moral superiority, it doesn't inspire change. It just creates division and resentment. It kind of reveals that the motivation is more about proving how righteous you are, not about genuinely helping.
This is such a powerful Taoist idea. The world has its own natural course, and trying to grab it and force it to be what we want it to be, it's like trying to hold water in your fist. The harder you squeeze, the faster it all slips away.
All right, next up, the pursuit of happiness. We're told constantly that if we just get enough money or status or fame, then we'll finally be content. But this constant chase is a complete trap. The Taoists saw this so clearly. This frantic race just wears us out, physically and mentally.
We're running around, piling up way more than we could ever actually use, and we mistake these little fleeting moments of pleasure for true contentment. We just end up exhausted and, deep down, still unfulfilled.
And our final case study. Man, this is a big one. It's the struggle to change who we fundamentally are just to fit some outside ideal. We're constantly told we should be different. Thinner, richer, blonder, quieter, louder, you name it. This idea really gets to the core of it all. Our judgments are what create these problems in the first place. Nature doesn't have a hierarchy. A snake isn't better than a centipede. They just are. It's only when we come along and create an ideal of beauty or goodness that we automatically create its opposite, and then we begin this pointless struggle to change what's perfectly natural.
Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem pretty clearly, but how do we actually do this? How do we practice this art of not trying? Well, the Taoists offer a clear protocol, and they called it the fasting of the heart.
And it breaks down into 3 really powerful steps. First, take the middle path. This just means avoiding extremes. Don't push yourself to burnout. Don't stretch yourself too thin. Find that sustainable, centered way of living. Second, unlearn daily. Now, this isn't about becoming ignorant. It's about letting go of the rigid beliefs that keep you boxed in to give the universe some room to actually show itself to you. And third, fast the heart. This is all about quieting that inner critic, that voice that's constantly judging everything and everyone. It's in that inner quiet that you find real contentment.
And this is the ultimate goal, right? Through this whole process of letting go, you reach that state of a way of non-action. And from that place of effortless alignment, you find that somehow everything that needs to be done just gets done.
So, what does this all mean for you? How should you see your role in the grand scheme of things? Let's wrap this all up with one final, really powerful idea.
You are the architect of your life, 100%. But the materials, your own nature, the flow of time, the Tao, they already know what to do. They know how to come together. So the most powerful thing you can do is learn the art of non-intervention. Your real job is to just stop getting in your own way.